What's up? What's good? The Wolf is here with another Let's Talk video. So in this one, I'm going to be going over not so much the specs of next gen or this next few years, I guess, of all the upcoming game releases and everything. Not so much the specs, but just kind of like where my thought process is on like where I'm mainly going to be checking out all the adventures that are coming up of all, from Ghost of Tsushima to, like whatever come like Cyberpunk and this and that stuff. Like all these games are either multi-platform or exclusive on a device and everything. So I'm going to go through kind of like the trailers that we've seen of like gameplay footage and just say my thoughts on everything that I think about both the Xbox and the PlayStation and also the PC platform. And yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, we have, I'll just start off with the Xbox platform. I have done stuff in the past, covering Xbox extensively. It was my main for the most part for the last, boy, I don't even know, like if this console generation ran for technically like 10 years, I would say probably a good 6 of it was on the Xbox One, and the 360 before that. So yeah, it's like seeing Xbox be in the state it's in now of just like it doesn't feel like Microsoft has all their cards on the table to be really playing the field of gaming. And I know that there's a lot of like Xbox fans out there that are like, oh man, come on, that's bull and all that stuff. Sure, we've seen Assassin's Creed Valhalla in action and everything, and we've seen like Shores and a couple other games, but to be all the way honest with you, all these games will be on the PC. Everything you've seen so far for this Xbox will be on the PC, but it will have way more options and way more settings, and pre-made PCs are very, very easy to get into nowadays. Everything's made for you. Everything's built for you. All you have to do is go into a store and download it and start the game up, and you're mostly good to go. Sometimes, even when the console stuff is, not working right, the PC stuff will work right. Sometimes all the way opposite end of the spectrum on that too. So sometimes the PC version will have drivers that are not, working properly with video cards. That's where the Xbox can sometimes come in. So there's always this thing about Game Pass. That Xbox has a ton more stuff on the Game Pass and everything. Here's where I see it. So you have so many more. We have so many more sales and everything going on the PC side of things than the console. A big thing that I've been seeing so far is that PC. Definitely, there's means of ways to get in games on there without even having to buy them. Sometimes that's been, it's very legal doing that, and you should definitely. I highly suggest, if you like a game, absolutely buy a copy of it. And this and that. Some of the games that are maybe pushed out too early and they feel kind of unfinished. I call a lot of those types of games like tech demos, like they're like tech demos. Pretend to be games. I think that's where like Xbox, they are getting a lot of those types of titles on the Xbox, and I think that the PC version of stuff is just like, why would you not go through and just check that stuff? Like, okay, Game Pass is like a primary example. If you don't want to go through websites and go through that whole shenagle of all that stuff. That's where the Game Pass can come in and show you whether or not a game is good or not. Like I see the whole thing of Game Pass. I use Game Pass myself. I have nothing against Game Pass. I don't know. When it comes down to the Xbox side of things, I just don't see a huge reason to have an Xbox. The Game Pass is all right if you're doing like Microsoft rewards. But other than that, I would rather just play everything on the PC since there is nothing exclusive on the Xbox. I don't see a reason to own an Xbox going forward. A Series X, that is. The Xbox One X, I think, is just fine. Now, does Series X have a ton more, power to it and this and that stuff? sort of. From what I see, my feeling on the Series X is that the dashboard is going to be the same, and the dashboard is a huge problem with the Xbox One. Now, the Series X has a lot more power to it, but that dashboard also takes up a lot of resources. This is just proven fact, whether or not you want to argue it or whatever. We've all seen and tested this, and it's proven fact that it is. Now, I've seen a lot of people go, "That's bullshit and you're wrong," and this and that stuff. Guess what? I have literally been on stream testing this and have seen it with like Red Dead and everything, and GTA and such, and a few other games, I'm pretty sure. But the other fact of the matter is, why go Series X when, okay, so the Series X could possibly be clocking games at 60 FPS locked. Sure. Are we actually going to be hitting that when we've already heard that for this gen? Who knows? We have not had the physical product in our hands yet. So that goes to show right there that we can't totally, even on the PlayStation side of things, like Sony's whole like TED Talk that they did. Who knows? Who knows for sure? So where I'm at on the Xbox Series X is I'm actually at the point of like pass on it. I really don't care to go through another generation of Xbox console that is going to give me nothing but problems. I've had that. I've dealt with like 3 versions of the Xbox One that has really given me more. So I've gone on a bunch of adventures, had a bunch of good times on it, but it's given me more of a headache than say the PlayStation or the Switch, for that matter of fact. Even the PC, I think, has given me less of a headache than the Xbox Series or the Xbox One. Just the original Xbox One, and I'm talking about the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X. I've had them all. I've used them all. I've just never been fully 100% sold on them ever since I switched over to PS4. So okay, let's switch gears over to PS4 real quick. And well, PS5, I mean. So next gen PS5, going into PS5. I definitely want to bring up this PS5 gameplay thing again, because this really just was like, wow. And this is just the scratching the surface of what the PS5 is really capable of, because I was also checking out a tech demo of like graphics tech demos, not like, you know, a game trying to be a tech, or a tech demo trying to be a game. This right here is way more than just triangles and polygons. There is so much more extra that is being worked on with this type of a game engine and everything in mind. And also the first party titles that the PS5 is bringing, it's hard to beat that. Even the PC is going to be hard beating this, because there is so many adventures that is exclusive to the PS5 and hopefully the PS4. So people can get their hands on a little bit more of a budget system, being the PS4 going into the future, where that the PS5 is going to be like the end-all be-all console, I think, for power-wise. Now, this could be totally backwards. The PS5 could totally brick on everyone. We don't know until this thing launches. I always say that. We don't know until we have it in our hands and the system is running, the games are working, and everything. You know, another big one too, I say, is for every new generation of consoles, it really comes down to what you're doing on the system. When the Xbox One, Series X, whatever, doesn't have anything that is exclusive to that console, and the PS5 has, I think it's going to be like 12 titles that they're coming out with exclusive, for whether or not that's like launch as soon as it launches, or it's coming in the months after. It doesn't matter. It's still there. There's something to do that you can't get anywhere else. Spider-Man's, the God of Wars, the Last of Us, and so on and so on. Ghost of Tsushima's, Neo's, all that. I think Neo is actually on the PC now, but most of those titles are going to be exclusively on that box. That's the only place you can get it, is on that box. So for me, if there's more, my rule of thumb is if there is more than like 4 to 5 titles on a next gen system, it's worth it's worth it. If there's no other place to get those titles, like the PS4 Pro or the PS4 had, what was it? I think The Last of Us, Until Dawn caught my attention when that came out, and Infamous. There was like a couple others. Uncharted, I think, was on the system also. Like those games, like you couldn't get those anywhere else. So it's like, okay, there's like a handful of stuff to do on this. That's cool. And so yeah, the PS5 is kind of in that same boat of like, oh, all right, Sony's pretty good with that stuff. And the games usually are pretty decent. You know, they might not be the best games in the world to everyone, but I think they're decent enough to be able to showcase. Oh, Horizon was, talk about showcase. That was like one of the best showcase games for the PS4. If they're coming out with like a Spider-Man 2 or Horizon 2, and on top of that, the games that you already own being, you know, enhanced almost right off the bat, I'm pretty sure. Like Spider-Man is going to be pretty well enhanced. God of War is going to be pretty well enhanced and everything. Have way better frame rates and all that stuff. Same thing with the Xbox Series X. So here's the thing. The consoles, Xbox Series X and PS5, they're very similar on the kind of build. The biggest thing is the hardware itself, which we've seen in the Tech Talk for the PS5, definitely overshadows the Series X, just on the way that the architecture of the hardware is actually built for gaming. It's not built for everything like the Xbox is trying to do. Even PC is kind of like it's built for everything. The PS5 is strictly built to make the games run at the best possible frame rate, the quickest possible loading times, which is almost like that, of like almost nothing, and have the exclusives there that ties it all together. So it's like that's hard. That's a hard package deal to beat. So the next thing that I really wanted to go into is PC gaming. Oh, and okay. So PC gaming, playing on the PC, playing on the computer. I am actually on a very big boat of playing a lot more, unless it's exclusive on the PS5. If it's cross-platform or whatever, and it's like on the Xbox or the PC, I am really like Gears 6 or Halo Infinite or the next Forza game or whatever, like Need for Speed and stuff like that. I am really like on the thing of probably wanting to play it on the PC more than anything, and checking it out there, just on the fact that you can customize the game to look even better. So, you know, if you tune into any of my streams, or if you watch the VODs that are here on YouTube also, I have a big thing against vignette filters. I don't really like them at all in the games. Film grain, I like to turn all that stuff off and just get like a clear picture. And then if I can grab mods and throw that into the game, I love to do that too. So that's where like PC and mods. Oh man, mods. Resident Evil 3 had like a ton of mods that made the game, you know, 10 times more enjoyable. It was stuff that, you know, even if you didn't like Resident Evil 3 remake, it was like, damn, the modding community actually makes it really cool. Resident Evil 2, way more people like that one, and the modding community went haywire on that one. Devil May Cry, again, there was like censorship stuff in some countries, and on the PlayStation platform, the censorship stuff was taken away, modded out of the PC version, if you could make it work, which it's also very easy to mod nowadays too, because all the mod managers and everything, it's basically just drop and drag and you're good to go. You just have to download it out from a website. It's totally legal. You don't get in trouble for anything unless it's like a cheat mod or something when you're going on multiplayer games like a Rainbow Six Siege or an Apex Legends or a Warzone or something. You know, do not mod. I say do not use cheats on competitive multiplayer games. That's not what that stuff is for. Mods are there to make like something like Doom Eternal, maybe give it a reshade so it's not so red in areas and whatnot, or give the guns a different skin to make them all gold or something. You know, it's the cool stuff like that really push PC gaming to, like, that is the stuff that is exclusive to PC gaming, mostly exclusive anyways. Some games do have mods on the console. Do they work 100% all the time? Not really. We've seen Fallout 4 have mod support and Skyrim, and it almost crashes your console out just because they're not built for that. But the PC versions of games, it seems to be like the more common thing nowadays is to get the PC version, modify the in-game settings to make it run as smooth as possible. So you can actually see in this video, if you look really closely, it says 60 FPS pretty much locked. On the console, it doesn't always run 60 FPS, which, you know, it's a console. It's older hardware and everything that is running this game. It's definitely expected. But yeah, going forward, like I said, unless the game is exclusive on like the Switch or the PlayStation 5, I think I want to start running my single player experiences on the PC, be able to mod it, be able to check out, you know, the game in full on lock 60 FPS and all that good stuff. If the new consoles do it and it does it well, that might, you know, my mind state might change on that and everything. It's me totally just screwing up a puzzle. But, you know, just having a good time in the game. I just want to see, like, I'm trying to think of a game recently. Like Resident Evil was probably my biggest one recently. I'm like, man, I really wish I had played that on the PC just for the fact of modding purposes. Like I can actually, you can mod Jill's face to be the one that played, the actress that played in the movie, the Resident Evil 3 movie and everything, that which is awesome. Another big one too is you don't have to play keyboard and mouse on the PC, as contrary belief as there is on that. You can actually plug in an Xbox controller, and this is where I kind of like the Xbox hardware on this part. I still like the Xbox controller kind of more than the PlayStation controller, although the PS5 controller does look very spiffy, and I do kind of like the look of it. I always really never liked the PS4 analog sticks. There's a bump in the middle of them. Never liked that. But all you have to do is you take your Xbox controller, you plug it in USB into your PC, and boom, it just works. If you get another like input program or whatever for the PS4 controllers, then you can do that way also. But like I said, PC is just, it's so, and I am nowhere near PC Master Race or anything. For competitive games, here's one of the major things. So single player, story driven games and everything where, you know, modding, cosmetics and stuff. Definitely, I'm looking at more PC on that. But anything competitive wise, I so want to stick with the PlayStation version of stuff. It just, I find it to run way smoother, way more competitive, just on the fact that everybody is on equal hardware. You don't have one person's PC being way over the top of another person's PC. I know that games try and, like, you know, equal that stuff out, but to me, in my brain, it's just like if somebody has a way farther field of view in like Warzone or something, and they can shoot me from like way farther across the map, I feel like they probably have an advantage one way or the other. That could be just superstition on my part, but it's just, I don't know. It's probably just the console gamer in me. But, you know, it's just like, that's just something that I feel like I just would rather be on like a PlayStation. And again, the Xbox server base, I just don't trust it anymore. I've seen way more times where it drops. You start having ping spikes on Xbox servers, I feel like, way more than you do on PlayStation. In my region, in my experience. You might have a different thing in your experience. Everybody's, you know, setups and everything is different. But yeah, I think that's like a pretty solid, you know, headspace where I am going forward in the next gen. This is not like a tech video or anything. It's just kind of my gut feeling of, and usually my gut feeling is pretty correct. I've learned to kind of go with my gut feeling on a lot of stuff. But that's, like I said, that's basically where I am right now with the whole next gen thing of like, okay, so how are we going to do this? And sometimes I do like messing around with keyboard and mouse too on PC. I will say it adds an extra, because I'm not very good with keyboard and mouse, so I just like using the controller. So it adds like an extra level. Like if it's a survival game or something like that, I kind of get bored with survival games. Throwing the keyboard and mouse, and I'm kind of like, what am I doing? I don't know. It just adds a little. It's like if you're playing a racing game with a steering wheel and pedals. It's a lot more like, you know, kind of in depth or whatever. It adds a little extra something to it. So that's how I am with the PC. I don't know. I still like my controller though. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. So like I said, console, I'm gonna be sticking with competitive for console, and for like fighting games, competitive wise, Warzone, Apex, Siege, all that good stuff. Anything like a Mortal Kombat, a Tekken, Street Fighter, whatever, 6 maybe, coming up in the future, Injustice 3 or whatever, anything like that, I'll be sticking with definitely the console version of it, like PS4, PS5. And then, games like Doom Eternal that you're seeing on the screen right here, definitely PC version of that. Resident Evil's definitely PC version of that. I will say though, if there's something like a PSVR version of something, I'd probably go with the PS, of course, the PlayStation version of it. Like Vader Immortal, I'd rather play it on kind of PSVR. I know the PSVR is way lower resolution, but it's just way easier setup for me, and it's a cheaper cost to make that all happen. So, and also the PlayStation has. PlayStation has something like like a lightsaber. So that Vader Immortal thing, you got the little wiggle waggle sticks. Hell yeah, let's go, let's do it. So, anyways, I don't want this video going too long. So that's my plans for next gen. Yeah, this has been a video. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, make sure and hit that subscribe button. I'll just throw that in there real quick. And maybe like the video if you like this or get anything out of it at all. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. And I'll see you next time.